Joe Rizzo here with the coach, Jeremy Jacobus, after the Rockets 19U girls pull off a 3-0 shutout of Snider hockey. They got outshot on the board pretty substantially, but for some reason it didn't look like they had some good opportunities, but not many secondary chances. And your girls made good on a bunch of their opportunities, especially at key times.
Yeah, I think the girls came with a good game today. They were ready to play. I think that's the important thing. I always talk about that when we hook up for these, Joe Rizzo. But I thought that they were ready to play before the puck dropped. We had a pretty good defensive scheme before the game, and we worked on it on Thursday night, and it showed out there on the ice today.
Yeah, I heard you imploring a lot as face-offs were happening. Get there, get there. I don't know if everybody could hear that too, but I was mentioning it maybe a couple times, a couple, 2, 3 times.
Can you guys hear me from over there?
From in Rock Ice we can.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, so you talked about face-offs. So we worked on those on Thursday, especially defensive zone draws. And I think that, the first thing that needs to happen is that the girls need to succeed at the things they're being coached so that they believe that it works, and then they can go ahead and do it, at the next speed. So I think that was one thing that worked really well for us today.
What else did you see in the game that you liked? Like these have been the types of games where the play has been even, like possession wise, in a lot of these games. But it seems like so many times you've been exiting the first period down 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and you're playing from behind and you end up coming up just short. Now, if you go back to like the Reston game a couple of weeks ago, this game, the possession's even, maybe a little bit tilted toward the opponent, yet you're ahead on the scoreboard. You're able to play differently, right?
Well, getting that first goal is super important. So once you get that, and of course, if you followed up with a second one, you can play a little more different. You can play on your toes more too. And the last thing we want to do is have anybody sit back. But the one thing that I think stood out today, which we have been working on and trying to commit to, was a hard forecheck. We were committing to putting pucks deep and going to get it. Nothing too fancy, trying to get in the zone, just want to get the pucks deep, go to work, and try to get somebody in front. And we did that for most of the game. We committed to putting pucks over the red line, especially in that third period. When we talked to the girls in the intermission was, hey, let's try not to take any penalties here in the third, and let's commit to putting the pucks deep, across the red line and get the pucks deep.
It seemed like that team that you played was very physical right from the get-go, and they played all the way through the whistle physically. They didn't play cheap. It was a very hard-fought game. I didn't really see much cheap stuff out there, but they seemed to play physical at a different level maybe than some of the other teams. I thought maybe you had, some older girls in the U19 bracket on this team than we've seen, a little more savvy, a little more understanding at this level of how to use the body, and your girls seem to react to it pretty well.
Yeah, I think they had 3 girls over there that were, like you said, seasoned girls, have been played a lot of hockey behind them, and realized that playing that gritty style of hockey has its payoff. And I think it was probably after that first period intermission there, we said to the girls, hey, I think you guys can see the personality of the game here. It's going to be a grind this whole game, so get ready for it. And I think the girls met up with the task. They played pretty good today.
Is the improvement here at Rock Ice reflecting a little bit about, what's going on the ice for the girls? We're in the Rockets lounge here, the girls' lounge. We'll step back so you can see a little bit about the banner behind us. And, there's a couple of couches. It's not the lap of luxury or anything like that, but it's some space that they haven't had before. The snack bar is open for the first time in a lot of years. There's paint here and there. Does that improve the demeanor of everybody? Make it a little more nice to come to practice, come to games here at the Rock?
I think it does. I think having an area, a place that the girls can call their own is super important. You just coming here and checking in and checking out of a locker room, but to have your own space here where they can gather after the game, during the next game, have some food, refreshments, or just hang out and shoot the breeze, it is a good thing. And as far as the place getting a little bit better, I was okay with it looking, the way it was. I think we take on the personality of that a little bit and make it tough to play here. But I also really like the improvements that I've been seeing because I want to see the place, a nice place to come.
Okay, that's going to do it. A successful Sunday, October 24th from the Rock. For the coach, Jeremy Jacobus, this is Joe Rizzo. What are you going to say? Your usual thing about...
Get home safely today.
Thank you. Get home safely. Thanks, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon for Rockets Hockey.